Okay class, in this video we're going to cover using the serger and two different methods that we use the serger for. One is for binding off the edges of fabric and one is for seaming together things like stretch fabrics. Sergers are good for seaming together stretch fabrics because they use multiple threads, and the way they join fabric together is different than the regular sewing machine. This is one of our sergers. This is the other serger that we have in the shop. As you can see, again, they use multiple threads and they have a lot of moving parts in them. They wrap threads around the edge of the fabric to construct and to bind off. I'm going to open this one up and show you a little bit of the inside. These sergers have these moving parts in here. You see those? This one is called the upper looper. This one is called the lower looper. And if you look right here, watch it here again. You see this moving up and down? That is a blade. That blade shears off the edge of the fabric, which allows the upper and lower loopers to wrap the fabric around the edge very nicely. There's also a needle that goes up and down. So we're using 3 threads on this machine. And what it does is it creates a look like this on the edge of our fabric. See how those are wrapped around the edge? That's what we're gonna do. You can use a serger to finish off the edges of fabric like this, or you can use it to seam 2 pieces of fabric together like this. You're going to learn both of these methods in this video. Okay, for these 2 samples, you're going to need 2 different things. You're going to need one 3x6 piece of muslin, and you're going to need one 3x6 piece of muslin cut in half. So it should be 2 3x3 squares. All right. For the first sample, I want you to take your big piece of muslin and I want you to just serge around all 4 edges. Now when you serge, you're gonna raise your presser foot. There's a lever back here and you slide this in. Now if you look at this edge, look at where the edge of your blade comes down and line up the edge of your fabric there. The goal with serging is not to lose any fabric to the blade. It is just to have a nice finished edge. So if you're cutting off, if you see a bunch of extra fabric falling off the side, you're cutting off too much. What should happen is it should travel just along the edge. I'm gonna push this and go, and you can see the blade going up and down? And if you look back here, you can see the thread wrapping around the edges. Now with serging, you go all the way to the edges here. You can't really turn corners with the serger. You gotta let it run out of the machine and then cut it off. And you cut off right near your corner. And then you'll go and do your next side. I'll serge down this side now. You don't always have to lift your pressure foot if you don't want to. The machine will just take it in. Now if you notice on this side, I'm cutting off these little fringes with the blade, but I'm not actually cutting the bulk of the fabric. Again, when you get to the end of that side, you just keep running for a bit and cut. You never want to leave a very short tail on a serger. You always want to have a few inches. Don't ever cut off right here at the base of your serging or close to the machine. Now you see I've got 2 serged edges, and we just keep going like that. Serge all 4 edges. Speed through this really quick. I don't expect you to use this machine this quickly, but I've done it for a long time. All right, so trim all your threads off your corners, and there's your first sample, but don't leave these kind of thread corners hanging out. For your next sample, this was a method of finishing off the edge. The next sample is going to be something that we use in construction. So how to join 2 pieces of fabric together with the serger. Now, sergers, hear me now and hear me clearly. You can never use pins to go through these machines. You can never ever sew over a pin with these machines. It will break the blade, it will break the machine. Don't ever put a pin through a serger. I hope I've said that enough. So that's why constructing with a serger is a little difficult, because you don't have pins to control your fabric. You have to. But for this sample, I just want you to take the piece that you've cut in half and line up 2 edges of it perfectly, and we're just gonna sew down 1 edge to seam them together with the serging. So like this, I'm ready to go. your extra threads. And this is what your seamed together piece looks like. There's our serged edge. And if we open it up, there we go. That is constructing with a serger. Don't forget, you need 2 samples for serging. Your construction sample and your binding off or finishing the edges sample.